Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Mindful Mondays. And we are excited to have Dr. Jamee Rodgers with Urban Neighborhood Initiative. And let me tell you, you want to stay tuned in these next 30 minutes because he's going to have so much good stuff to share with us and how he and his organization is building communities with purpose on purpose. My name is Marilyn Chappell, founder and executive director of Exceeds Expectations. And and I'm excited to have you join us on today. So, Dr. Jamee, thank you so much for just being here today.
Well, Merlin, thank you for having me on. It is my pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. Thank you for sharing and for all that you do and for providing platforms for people like myself and orgs like us to be able to be represented. So we're excited to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Jamie, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why building communities with purpose on purpose is so important to you?
Great. So first, let's start off with my mama named me Jamie, so you don't have to call me doctor. This is
Okay.
family talking, so we can talk regular.
Got it.
Uh,
All right.
so why building communities with purpose on purpose? Because for far too long, communities have been overlooked and underserved, largely, particularly communities of color, like the urban core of Kansas City and other places all around the world. We see this happen so many times. But for me, it was a call to action. I was the person who was in corporate America making good impression, but I wasn't making impact. And so I found myself going through this conundrum of understanding where I faced a dichotomy. Do I go and make more money or do I go and make more impact? And I chose to put my passions and my paycheck and fulfill my purpose, which was for me to go and to serve communities. And so when hearing about communities like the ones I grew up in, ones that family members grew up in, and some still live in, we
Mhm.
realized that it was by purpose and by design that the communities are the way they are today. And so that means we have to be just as intentional, just as purposeful for us to combat and overcome all that they've had the leg up and the historical time to build against us. And so we certainly made it our mission as individuals, and every individual on my team have come together with the same mindset of us serving communities so we can weaponize our positions of purpose, privilege, and put our purpose into action so that we can stop making impressions by just doing good here and there, but actually making some impact by serving families so that they can continue to carry on the legacy of making impact in communities.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And I love that you're coming from a place of intentionality, and it start from not just with the organization, but it started with your family and you guys coming together saying, okay, what does purpose look like for your family? I think that is so important. And that's why you guys are impacting families. So what are some focuses that you guys are, some areas of focus that you guys are really honing into with the neighborhoods that you guys are serving?
Great. So what we do is we have a couple of different things that we do. The way that I like to describe it is we have what we call the hard side and the soft side. The hard side is the bricks and sticks. We will buy, rehab, renovate, sell, or acquire real estate to keep it affordable in the urban core of Kansas City, largely focusing on affordable housing spaces and then also focusing on community gathering, community education, and learning spaces. That's what we call the hard side. The soft side is that anything outside of that, we also have hands in. So we are well connected to the communities that we serve and building in supportive and wraparound services to make sure that they're able to be connected to whatever resource they may need. And so if a family member is calling and saying, hey, my grandson just got released from prison, he's looking for work, we have people we can call and say, hey, send them to this person and talk to this place. If your child is out of school in the summertime and you're looking for programming to do, well, we have that as well. And so we have a director whose job is to go into communities with her and her team, and they are building connections. They are listening. They go door to door in all the neighborhoods we serve to make sure that we're hearing from people themselves what's going on. And when we hear those issues, we come back, we meet as a team, we pool our resources and connections and say, hey, how can we make a difference and make an impact into the situation. And at that point, we just begin to strategize and then take action, which I think is the biggest part. A lot of people to strategize, we've been studied enough. But it's the next step
That's
of after you've studied me and gotten a report on me, then what are you going to do with the information and just do something? And so we
yeah,
we we want to show up and always do something. And so that's how we connect. That's how we build, and we just have the services that go along with it. And we also go out and advocate, and we'll take the words from the streets to the city hall and to council meetings and to school board meetings or anywhere else we need to go to make sure one they're aware that there are people who are from the urban core who care, and
yeah.
two that because we care, we'll make it our business to make sure you care. And so that's what we do.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And so I know I was looking on you guys' website and learned that you guys serve a lot of neighborhoods.
Mhm.
About how many neighborhoods do you guys actually serve?
So we serve 10 neighborhoods in an official capacity, and then we'll serve other neighborhoods on need by case basis. And so we are serving from Truman down to 52nd, from Truce to Prospect, and right in the heart of Kansas City. We don't usually refer to it as the urban core. We refer to it as the heart of the city because it's in the smack of the middle.
Yeah,
But it's also the place where you'll find the closest, most aligned people, some of the most and biggest people who love, and some of the best culture, and just some good-hearted people who just need somebody to take an interest in them and invest in them. And so that's what we do.
I love it. And so, and you know just as well as I know, a lot of times we just don't know about all of the resources that are available to us. And I mean, you guys have so much resource to where um, any family can, prosper if they knew about all the services that you have. So how can like working parents, because a lot of times parents are working and they miss out sometimes on some of the um, meetings, neighborhood meetings that you may have, or just miss out on some of this information. How can working parents get involved and learn more about what's going on in the
Right.
community?
So there are several ways. One is probably the easiest and the way that most people probably keep in contact these days: social media. You can Snapchat, tweet, Instagram, follow us, Facebook, Smoke Signal, pages on the old pages if you want to. However you want to get us, you can reach us. And so
Yeah.
we're constantly posting information and content. We want to make sure that people are aware of resources and programs that are taking place, whether they're ours or not.
Okay.
We do what we do with excellence, but we also partner with partners who do what they do with excellence. And so when we put it out into the streets, it's something that's available. We vetted that person or that org and said, hey, they're good for it, and they're good for the community. Here's a resource, use it if you like. And so there's no pressure from us at all. We don't endorse people, but we certainly have partners that we know will do the same level of work that we do and value what we do and what they do. And so you can also, traditional. Our phone numbers will be in the chat. You can reach us on the phone. You can email us at info@uni-kc.org. And you can reach any of us and get us here in the office. We're more than happy to see how we may be able to assist or connect, and then also
Yeah.
to point you in the right direction for resources and services that we may not provide directly, but have partners who do.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And so you guys are doing just amazing work. And I know you guys are transforming lives by your your hard work. Once
Mhm.
again, like you had stated, letting people know that you care. And I think that's really the important and the key thing is that one, that you're able to relate, right? Because we all have a story, and whether people want to share that or not. But I think that is one of the barrier breakers is sharing our stories. And so, how important is education in our communities?
So we want to make sure that people from all walks of life have access to education in the way they need it and want it. Not every child's going to go to college. Not every adult is going to go to college or go to a trade school or a tech school. Some of them are interested in certifications where they can get into a field faster. Some of them just want to get knowledge so that they can be more knowledgeable in a certain area or field. we see it as our call to action to be able to provide connections to any of those types of studies. So we work with um, people in early education spaces. We have places we're building right now that will have classrooms for early childhood education. We work with kids in schools, elementary, middle, and high school. We have a team that goes into the schools weekly and they're checking in, they're working, they're providing curriculum, and they're also providing supplemental access. We are big on providing spaces for workforce development trainings. We have a new partnership that will roll out here in the next few months, actually, which will be a partnership with a really big tech company. I'm not going to call Microsoft's name, just happens to say it. I didn't say that out loud though, but
Right.
they are partnering with us in a really big way, and so we're able to provide some tech certifications free of charge, and have
Wow.
technical analysts from Microsoft themselves to teach classes. And we will host and provide spaces for people to come to get those certifications, making 20, 30, $40 an hour, depending on the positions and what you want to do and how far you want to take it. But, for what
Yeah,
you can study it for a couple months and make, a decent income. We're
that's
working
right.
with young people in high school to help them get those certifications. So if they want to work part time while they're in college, they can make better than what I made when I was working in college, because I was at Radio Shack trying to sell cell phones, and Radio Shack don't even exist. That's how good it was that we did it. So, but no, we want to provide those access to resources and those connections. And that's just an example of a couple of different programs we're working on to provide workforce development. But then we also have like things like our M Lab. Our M Lab is a 30-foot trailer that's designed to be transformative. It's literally a transformer. And by that, I mean it changes. We spent about 8 months designing and engineering it because no one else in the world has one. And so we're the only organization or business that has it built the way we have it built. It's designed for it on the inside that it has 8 32-inch TVs. It also has an 80-inch smart touchscreen 3D monitor, Microsoft Surface Hub. It also has two 70-inch TVs on the outside of it. So it's designed for youth and education to come into the M Lab as a supplement to their school day. We're not trying to replace school systems. We're not trying to replace teachers. We want to give teachers some resources that they don't have to pay for. And we want to be able to provide access to our kids in the urban core that rivals, if not beats, some of the better school places out in the school district that have better budgets because they have a
Yeah.
higher tax bracket. And so we created this to be able to be used for education, everything from virtual reality simulations for 30 kids plus to 3D printing, robotics, aviation, aeronautics, animatronics, animation. It has all that on it in it. They can use it, but then the side of it actually is designed. This is what took so long, is that it actually will fold down and transform from an internal classroom into an outside stage performance. So if we were going
Wow.
from the school system to the block party, we got bounce houses and popcorn, snow cone machines, grills, DJ equipment, stage that can hold 40, 50 people, about 20,000 pounds, and have a full-fledged block party for kids to enjoy in communities, and then go right back into the education if we needed to do it too. And it takes about 20 minutes to convert them from one to the other. So when we say we want
Wow.
to really build communities with purpose on purpose, we put our money where our mouth is, and we try to show up as best we can.
Yes, and I believe so. I think that is so awesome. I mean, I love that you guys are going to be exposing our youth to different career opportunities. And a lot of times when we expose our youth to different career opportunities, sometimes that's when we tap in to
Mhm.
maybe a passion or an interest that they never may have known about. So I think that is huge that you guys are doing that. But even more than that, I love that you are finding a way to engage,
Mhm.
to keep our kids from being idle or sitting idle, um, and just you're meeting them where they are. So I love you guys' vision, the strategy, but most importantly, I love that you guys are acting on what you guys have strategized. So can't wait to see that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So, um, as you talked about the M Lab,
Mhm.
how do you see that increasing the safety and the health of the community?
It's a great question. If you've been in Kansas City a day, you've probably heard that we have struggles in safety and security and crime prevention. And I use the word prevention specifically because we don't need to be a reactive city, we need to be proactive. What we use are places like the centers that we own, as well as the M Lab and other programs in school to one, teach our young people that there are pathways to resolving issues without it being violent or without it having to turn into something more than what it needs to be. And so we teach coping skills and how to connect with our young people. We teach lessons on engagement and how to talk at a workplace, how to, talk through social issues, relationship issues, or dealing with housing insecurity or food insecurity, and dealing with the real trauma that our kids go through every day. We want to always have spaces for our kids to use their voices. And so we have a program that we do in the summer times that we have now started to put into a school system as well in KCPS, where our young people get a chance to work on policy recommendations that change the system that is causing some of
Nice.
their issues so that they can change the oppressive state that they've had to deal with and the cards they've dealt. And then what we do is use our influence and we use our sphere and circle of people that we know and say, hey, we got everyone that we could. Last year, we had everybody from the director of housing to the director of health and human services. We had the mayor, we had the superintendent, Dr. Bedell, at the time coming. We had people from local, state, national offices to come and to listen to our kids. They had a chance to talk to the students for a few minutes, but most of their time was spent listening to our kids. Then our kids went back and wrote policy recommendations based on what they were feeling from their experience. And then we brought those same people back in again and said, now you listen, we'll give you some breakfast and give you some juice or whatever you need, but these
Yeah.
kids are going to be able to present to you their policy recommendations. And they literally wrote out an actual policy proposal, which they gave to them and have begun to see some of those go through the pipeline for success. So we want to make sure they can use their voices, not just their fists or their trigger fingers, because you have
Yeah.
power and we want you to speak truth to power. And we want to make sure that our kids have access. And a lot of them just felt like no one listened, no one cared. And so for us, we said, no, we absolutely do. And not only do we care, we're going to show you. And so we want to put you in situations where you can use your voice and your brilliance, because we have some
Yeah.
brilliant students that
Yes,
come
we
up with
do.
some really brilliant solutions. And we just want to make sure they're heard, they're seen, they're valued, but then someone's going to do something about them. And that's where we take it up from there and say, hey, you heard about it from them. Now our policy team is going to take it and we're going to push it and make sure that we are going to get some results from it. And so that's what we do.
Love it. There's power in our words, but there's also power in the pen and paper. And I love that you guys are showing them that there's a process to it. It takes
Mhm.
time, but it's well worth it. Love it, love it, love everything that you guys are doing. How do organizations and people get involved with what you guys are doing?
So we are always looking for people who would like to serve and volunteer, or for organizations who have services that can be useful to clients and the families that we serve and communities that we serve. All I ask and all that we have as our standard is internally, we say excellence is the standard of measure. If we don't execute at excellence, we don't execute at all. And so any partner that we partner with has to have that same heartbeat. And we also want partners who care about people that we care about, right? No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And
That's
so
right.
knowing that our partners are working with that same mindset and heart set, then we're able to actually build some pretty robust pipelines for us to connect services, to connect resources, and to pool and partner and to see how we can connect. We don't want to do everything for everybody. We can't be. We don't have the capacity to be everything. But what we do have the capacity to do is to partner with great people who do what they do well. And when we do that, we can hand off and say, hey, here's the Johnson family or the Jones family who's needing X, Y, or Z. And then here is organization ABC who can help meet that need. ABC's been vetted, Ms. Johnson's been vetted. Now the two of you all connect and make sure that resource is done. Our team just says, hey, Ms. Johnson, you good? We're just checking in with you. Anything else you need? And then that person is getting the services they need that we may not provide, but they still get met their needs. And that's what we want to see happen, is a pattern of that happening over and over again. So if you like to partner, please reach out. Let's talk. Let's connect. We're always looking for people that we can connect with.
Awesome. And you guys see the contact is on there. UNI-KC.org is where you can go to their website, as well as you can call them at 816 2310822. And their email is info@uni-kc.org. So look, this is an organization you definitely want to support, as well as get behind. If you like Jamie said, if your heart is in it, this is where you want to be, to serve. And how can volunteers get involved as well?
So same way, you can go to our website, uni-kc.org, and click on the contact us, so let's connect tab, and fill it out. We'll be more than happy to reach out to people and connect. There's always volunteer opportunities that can work, whether you want to go out in communities and help with community gardens, you want to help build a house, you want to go into a school and work with kids, or you just say, hey, you know what? I'm a person who has this specific set of skills. How can I help support the org and what they're doing? We have openings for that as well. So we're hiring for summer interns, and we're looking at even having a summer or even a year-round senior intern program, meaning that if you're retired and you're like, I'm tired of watching, Days of Our Lives. That still come on? I don't know if it still comes on. I know my grandmother used to watch it every day, but assuming that it does. Price is Right, whatever your show is, and you're like, you know what, I want to go do something different. Come hang out with us. We have offices downtown, and we have sites in the urban core that we work in as well. Our team's always doing different things. We would love to have you come be a part of our team. Join us, help us to serve, make an impact. We say impact over impression any day. And so if you want to make some impact, you got 30 minutes, an hour, or a day, or you got a full-time schedule, you want to come and work for us. We have several openings. We'd love to have you come join our team in whatever capacity you're able to.
Love it. My last question for you is, what do you see in the next 5 years to be a positive change in the neighborhoods that you serve?
Great question. So in the next 5 years, what you can expect, and I hope that you'll hold us accountable to as the Urban Neighborhood Initiative, is that we will be well into our plan of adding 500 plus new doors of housing to the city in the urban core. And when we do that, we want to create not just quality houses, but we want to create stable families and opportunities. We do that in a couple different ways. We have single family houses that we build. We do rehabilitation projects, single family rehabilitation projects. We have a duplex model where a family can purchase the duplex, the whole duplex. They can live on one side, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. The other side, they can rent out, depending on what floor plan, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Now, the rent from the other side helps you to pay your mortgage, and it begins to create generational wealth for you, your children, and their children's children, because it continues to build. We have multifamily rental opportunities for people to come in. We don't skimp on quality to keep it at a cost that's so low that you don't get nice things. When we build houses and we build homes, they get quartz countertops, they get the real floors, they get upgraded paint, they get stainless steel appliances, they get the same thing that you would want to get anywhere else you would buy your home. Just because your geographical location may be in the urban core does not mean we check quality at the door once you cross the truce divide. And so we definitely want to continue to build and connect with homes. But then on the other side is we want to continue building spaces for community members like yourselves to continue to be served, and to create affordable spaces for other nonprofits and even some for-profits that are serving in a specific niche, to be able to come in and find spaces that they can afford to be able to build both either their businesses or build their connections to resources, whatever that may be. Unity Campus is going to be on the maps. We just closed on that about 3 weeks ago. We're excited. It was a 3.5, almost 4-year deal. We took negotiating, but it will be something that will, thank you, that will be used for our community, for each of you all to come in and find whatever resources you may need on that one location. So we're excited about all that's taking place. And we know that through some of the work we're doing, but the work, the collective is coming together. All of our partners are serving the urban core, that it won't be the same. We don't have a choice but to change. And so when that change comes, we want to know, will you be a part of it, or will you have been left behind? So it's your choice.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, if you haven't been inspired today, then I don't know where you're going to go get that inspiration, because anytime that somebody is talking about change and impact and transformation, that's something that definitely excites me, because we all need it, because none of us have arrived, for one. And so there's always a place to serve and to lend that hand, as well as we all know somebody who can utilize these resources. And so my challenge to you is to share this live with somebody. If it's just one person that you impact on today, with this live, then that is enough, right? And so, Jamie, before we go today, leave us with some encouraging words, for just anybody on this Mindful Monday.
Got it. So I'll leave you with these two very brief things. One's a quote. So there's a Wise Street urban philosopher by the name of Neo. You may have heard of him. He's a R&B producer, singer, song extraordinaire, Grammy Award winner, all that good stuff. But he said something that was real profound. He said, "I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. I'm good all by myself, but baby, you make me better." And so with that, I close with this: we are family, and baby, you make us better. And so together, collectively, we can work together to make some true and lasting impact that will hopefully far exceed our lifespans and will continue to change the tide and provide sources and connection and resources to families who have far too long been overlooked and underserved. Be reminded that those who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution, so they should have the biggest voice. Lead with people in front and you'll always make your profit. But if you lead with profit, you'll lose people every time. Hopefully, you guys have been encouraged. Thank you guys for having us be a part of it today. Listen, we are so happy to be here and serving communities, and we are so happy to have been on today. And we look forward to hearing from each of you all as you all are reaching out and we can connect. And remember, it's not just a newfound friendship, but we family now, and we got to work together. We may not always get along, but we always get it on together. So let's make sure we serve together. Thank you, guys.
Amen to that. There you have it. Dr. Jamie Rodgers, and he said, call him Jamie. Okay. So I got it. So, Jamie, thank you for coming on today. And remember, you have everything you need in order to succeed on this week. And so go prosper.
Thank
Have
you
a
all.
good day.
Take care.